stairway into the underworld felt alive. Each step echoed like a heartbeat, slow and heavy, carrying Lycus and Zephyra away from the trembling world above. The stone beneath their feet was older than Olympus itself, carved in an age before gods, before titans, before even memory. Behind them, the entrance sealed shut with a low, final rumble. They were now in the realm of the dead. Lycus touched the wall. Frost crept over the stone. "It feels like the world is colder here," he whispered. Zephyra nodded. "The underworld does not welcome the living. Stay close. This path remembers everything that has ever died." As they moved deeper, the light dimmed until only faint blue veins glowing through the stone lit their way. Shadows danced across the walls, long, thin, whispering shadows. Some looked human, others didn't. One shape floated toward Lycus, its voice soft and empty. "Do you remember me?" Lycus stepped back in fear. Zephyra grabbed his wrist. "Don't answer. These are echoes. They feed on your voice, and then your soul." They hurried forward as the whispers faded behind them. Ahead, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber of black stone. Rivers of white light ran along the walls like veins. At the center rose an ancient temple, built of obsidian, bone, and time. A figure stepped out from the darkness, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing armor of silent bronze, eyes deep as burial pits. Hades. Here, in his own realm, he was not the quiet god of the surface. He was a king, still, cold, absolute. "You carry the spark," he said, his voice echoing like a distant drum. "Show me." Lycus opened his mouth to explain he didn't know how, but something answered for him. A white flame burst from his chest, spiraling upward like a rising star. The light washed over the chamber. Lycus staggered as visions flooded his mind. A cradle of starlight, a woman with gold in her hair, a god touching the forehead of a newborn child, a promise sealed before Olympus ever rose. Zephyra stared in awe. He truly is the bridge, mortal born, immortal remembered. Hades nodded. A child tied to both worlds, and Kronos seeks him because of that flame. Through the boy, the Titan can reclaim what he lost. Lycus swallowed. "So what do you need me to do?" "Survive," Hades said, "and hide the spark somewhere Kronos cannot reach." The war above. While they spoke, the world above was breaking. Ares battled the spectral army that marched behind Kronos. Ancient warriors pulled from forgotten graves. His newly restored armor burned like a furnace with every strike. Athena moved across ruined cities like a whisper, guiding mortals to safety, writing new strategies into the wind, lifting hope where there was none. Poseidon, standing upon a storm-torn cliff, lifted the seas with the last of his strength, forcing the corrupted waves born from Kronos' grief, to turn back. But nothing slowed the Titan. Where Kronos walked, mountains split. Where he breathed, the sky bent and dimmed. And with every heartbeat, time itself unraveled. The Throne of Ash. Back in the underworld, Hades led Lycus and Zephyra into a hall where an ancient throne sat broken in half. This throne judged the dead for 10,000 years, Hades said, but Kronos' awakening has weakened the walls between worlds. If he reaches the underworld, even death will collapse. Zephyra tensed. What happens if death collapses? Hades answered calmly. Everything dies at once. and nothing stays dead. Lycus felt the spark within him tremble. "What must I do?" he asked. "You must deliver the spark to the one place untouched by Kronos," Hades said. "The oldest darkness, the void." Zephyra's eyes widened. The void devours everything. No god has survived stepping into it. Which is why the figure who rose from the shadows surprised even her. Armor black as night, a cloak that looked like falling ash, eyes colder than the grave. "Thanatos, the Deathbringer." Hades nodded. "He will guide you. No mortal survives the path alone." Thanatos bowed slightly. "The void is hungry. Stay behind me, and do not think of anything you fear. It will hear your thoughts." Lycus shivered. The gate of the void. They reached a cavern so vast it seemed the world had been hollowed out. At its center stood a massive stone arch covered in symbols that pulsed like living ink. Beyond it was not shadow, not darkness, but nothing, a blank, endless absence. Lycus felt the spark inside his chest beating wildly. Thanatos placed a skeletal hand over his shoulder. "Do not fear the emptiness," he said. "Fear only forgetting who you are." Zephyra took Lycus's hand. "I will walk with you until the very edge." Lycus stepped forward. One step, two. The spark blazed like a small sun, lighting the entire cavern. And then, a deafening roar ripped the chamber apart. The stone walls split. The arch shook violently. Dust rained from the ceiling as a massive shadow filled the cavern. Kronos had entered the underworld. He should not have been able to. No Titan should have set foot here. But the boundaries between life and death were already breaking. Kronos' voice rolled like thunder, drowned in sorrow. "Bring me the child." Zephyra shielded Lycus. Thanatos drew his black blade. The gate of the void began to crack and collapse. With one step, the Titan filled the cavern with his presence. Ancient, hollow, unstoppable. Lycus looked into the void. The spark inside him screamed like a living thing. Kronos reached out his hand, and the entire underworld shook. To be continued in Part 5. Like, share, subscribe, and switch on your notification button.